Welcome, I'm John Caldera, president of the Independence Institute and your devil's advocate. I want to introduce you to a young man who, get this, has ambition and wants to start his own company, and it's government that's telling him he can't. Tyler DeVries, thank you for being with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me on the show.
Hey, so before we talk about, is it Adventure Colorado? Is that what you...
Adventure Colorado Tours, yep.
Okay. You've had a wonderful experience as a young 20-something. You've been robbed at gunpoint of everything in Aurora.
Yep.
God bless Aurora. And then you got hit by a drunk driver.
Yep.
What happened?
Yep, so it was my senior year of high school, and I was driving around right behind Overland High School and just going home like a normal day, and he T-boned me around 4:30 p.m., wasn't wearing my seatbelt. They said if I was, I would have died because it would have like chopped me in half. And I broke my femur, shattered my pelvis, and they also said I wasn't going to be able to walk across stage. Proved them wrong then, and just been kind of
You were in a
hustling
coma
ever
for a while,
since.
right?
What was that?
You were in a coma.
I was in a coma for 2 weeks, yes.
How was that? Any good visions?
No good.
Could you hear people talking to you?
Nope, nothing like that. But yeah, I woke up like 15 different times, it felt like, in the hospital. So it was very crazy because I was so drugged up.
I'm glad you're doing well, but it kind of changed your outlook, and it really
Definitely.
pushed you to do what you're doing now.
Yep.
What are you doing now?
So right now I have 3 classes till I finish my undergraduate degree in psychology, communications, and business. I'm a mental health counselor. I'm also a therapeutic mentor, and I run my own tour guide business, Adventure Colorado Tours, which is...
What is Adventure Colorado Tours?
Yep, so we offer...
It sounds very Colorado-ish. You got the man bun. It has to be very Colorado-ish.
Definitely. So we offer intimate experiences for people who are traveling from other states or other countries. And our main experience is taking them up to St. Mary's. After that, we go to Bojo's Pizza, which was founded in 1880 in that small little mining town.
For those who don't know, St. Mary's is a glacier.
Yes.
So you take your tourists, you go up to the glacier. It's cold, it's cool.
Yep.
I've never even been this.
You got to go.
Well, maybe you could take me. You're going to have to carry me, but...
I offer that.
All right, but it's an extra $20, right?
More than that.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah.
And then you go back down to Idaho Springs. You go to Bojo's.
Yep.
And so they have a great Colorado experience.
Great, yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. How's business?
Right now, it's very slow. I haven't operated before COVID, a couple of weeks before COVID, and just haven't operated. I haven't done one tour since then, and just a lot of legal stuff has been happening. COVID kind of happened at the perfect time, to be honest, with what has been happening with my competitors and in my business.
Let's talk about that. So it's not COVID that's going to destroy your business. It's your competitors.
Exactly.
Well, as a free market guy, I love that. I love that your competitors are giving you an honest run for your money. They can take out people to St. Mary's Glacier. You can take people out.
Yep.
What are you whining about? This seems like what America is.
Yeah, and I think it is also great, and I'm looking at it in a positive light, because obviously them coming after me means I'm doing something right. It means that they're scared, they're shaking in their boots, and they don't want me stepping on their turf, and I completely understand. But this is my turf too, because I was born and raised here, and my great-great-grandparents lived here, and I've explored Colorado my whole life, so I just want to share that with others.
All right, but the key here is you are not competing with them. They are trying to shut you down, not through competition, but through their power, through the government. So we think about competition. And if you wanted to open up a restaurant, that'd be fine. And if you wanted to open up a dry cleaners, other dry cleaners wouldn't be able to say, there's no room for him in the market. But somehow your business falls under public utilities. So the Public Utilities Commission gets to decide whether or not you get to risk your life, your fortune, your time, your energy, your passion in this competitive world. What do they have power over? I'm missing that part.
Yeah, so basically, let me just give you a little rundown of how I kind of started. So I started living downtown on top of Union Station at the Grand. They're one of the only apartment complexes that is partnered with Airbnb, and you're able to do the short-term rentals without owning the property. So when I saw the little flyer in the elevator, I'm like, sweet, I want to make extra money and help pay for rent, because rent was outrageous there. And so I got everything set up through the Airbnb website, and then I would go camping when people would book. And so a couple months later, Airbnb reached out and said, hey, you should offer experiences too. And I'm like, okay, why not? And so I've just put something together within like 2 hours. I was like, okay, St. Mary's, Bojo's, and the Hot Springs are all in the same.
So if I'm understanding, you got to talk old guy to me. So basically on Airbnb, you rent out the place where you live.
Yep.
And when you're renting it out, you go out camping. But also Airbnb allows you to offer this service, which is an experience.
Yes.
So in other words, being a tour guide. Yep. So not only do people come into Colorado, stay at your place, but now they can hire you to go do something because it's nice having a local there to do it.
Yeah, and it's important to not get them kind of intermeshed because they're two separate things. So you don't have to do the short-term rental through Airbnb to offer an experience. So they're two separate things, but once I started offering that experience, I kind of moved up in the rankings, became number one, and things just like took off. I'm like, okay, I want to keep expanding. Got on TripAdvisor, got on other platforms, and then I was like, okay, if I'm going to take this seriously, I want to take all the precautions and do this the right way. So that's when I found out I needed the common carrier's license through the PUC. I unfortunately found out I needed that.
What is a common carrier license?
Basically, it's whoever is carrying people in a vehicle, like taxis need them, shuttle services, those big buses.
You see a van or a bus that's going up to a hotel or a ski area, and you see this number on it. It says PUC number, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
They have to have a common carrier license from the PUC.
Yeah.
Big deal. So you go get this common carrier license. You fill out the form, they give it to you.
Yep. So I filled out the form, and then as somewhere in the statute it says that people who have that are able to intervene. So they get notifications, and I've gotten notifications when people try to, file for this common carriers. And
this is as old as the taxi cartel. So for people who might not be following, this is so remarkable that in today's America, this is even allowed to happen. So I think it's fine if you need to register as a common carrier so you can get some insurance and you can protect yourself and protect your clients. But your competitors get to intervene, that's a term, intervene, and say, yeah, Tyler's a nice guy, but there's no room in the market for this.
Exactly.
And therefore, since the market is full, you, the PUC, should not allow him this license. This is sinful. This is so ugly and wrong. And the PUC in Denver, for instance, for over 50 years, had only 3 taxi cab companies because they use this game. Yep. And you protect your market. And it's a whole lot easier to keep you from being a competitor than actually competing with you.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big damn state, Colorado.
Yeah.
There's plenty of room for people to have experiences and bring people up to St. Mary's Glacier or wherever you're going.
Yep.
So where are you in this process?
So I just wanted to mention with the lawyer, so since I had the great opportunity of being an intern here, Shane
here at the Independence Institute.
Yes, and Shane, I reached out to Shane, and she linked,
Shane Matson, who runs our political law center.
Exactly,
She's a great lady.
She linked me up with Matthew Larson, who represented Uber. So it's a very similar case as Uber because, like you had mentioned with the taxi service, it's like a cartel. Yeah. And that's kind of what it feels like to me is like I come in here and then they get all their friends and they're trying to shut me down. And so that lawyer that Shane linked me up with, basically the process is me trying to change the law with Airbnb and also taking one of the other options that Matthew Larson and his team brought to me that I decided to.
Pardon me for saying this. You're what, 25 years old?
Yes, sir.
Don't ever call me sir again.
Thank you for...
You're 25 years old.
Yeah.
You should not be dealing with this kind of bureaucratic crap to start your own business. You don't have to go to government and say, Mother, may I please take my limited resources and risk them at my own expense to provide these great services to people and risk complete and utter failure. Please, Mother, may I have this? And your competitors saying no. So were you denied a license?
So I actually got the case dismissed, and I currently don't have the common carrier's license, but I went down another route that one of my, that the lawyer mentioned to me, which makes me legal still.
All right, so do you feel like the situation personally is solved?
No, there's a lot of gray area lot of gray area. And I think it's going to be a way bigger thing than just kind of filling out this application. And my goal is to hopefully change the law with Airbnb, because there's over 100 experiences, 100 different people offering experiences through Airbnb. And I know I'm kind of the first one, since Airbnb experience is only like 2 years old, to kind of bring this to the surface and hopefully help the government, the Colorado government, recognize that the law does need to be changed. And
I'm sure they'll get right on that, because your competitors will go, he's got a good point there.
Yep.
We'll put principle over our own self-interest. Now listen, I don't like young people. I don't like people with hair, and I particularly don't like people with man buns. So there's no reason you and I will ever be friends until all those things are taken care of. Everyone should be old and fat and bald and cranky. That being said, I don't know anybody who can watch this and look at you, a young guy who's just trying to start a business and direct his own life, write his own biography, take a chance with his own resources, and your problems are not with your competitors. It's not with your clients that they're unsatisfied. The marketplace would take care of all that. Your problem is with the Public Utilities Commission having oversight and allowing competitors to put a young man out of business. It takes a special guy to be able to stand up to that. So I don't stop fighting this law, but more importantly, we've got to keep pressure on the PUC that this should never even get to this place. You are what makes Colorado great, starting that spirit, and it's wrong that they're doing. Any last thoughts?
No, just kind of what you said is just like, I started this business and, I'm 25, just kind of getting into it, and then it just opened up my whole world, and I'm like, holy crap, the government, you got competitors, and it just is like, wow. The
When you say
barriers to
holy
entry.
crap, the government, what do you mean?
Just like what you're saying is like, wow, there's a lot of regulation and a lot of barriers to entry, where I thought it was just going to be easy because I was driving in business. I have over 100 5-star reviews, and I was like, I'm doing great, like I'm just taking off, and then all of a sudden my rocket ship just kind of was put down by the government and their regulations, and the competitors intervening for that PUC.
I'm incensed on your behalf. When you get older like me, you'll be even angrier. Really, it's great. Tyler, go get him.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed that conversation, by all means, click one of these other great programs. We have the best conversations with the most fascinating Coloradans. And subscribe to our channel. Just click down below and hit that little bell button too. You don't want to miss a single show.